Already 40 members were joined.
Okay, no problem. Whenever you say I'm ready,
Shall we
I'm
start
ready.
now? Slowly they will
Okay.
join.
Okay,
Shall I
fine.
start?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. In YouTube, about 12 persons were joined, and in June, 26 were joined. So let us start slowly. They will join, I think.
Okay.
So, good morning to you all. I warmly welcome you to this third day session of 1 week National Capacity Building Program on Research Methodology for Social Sciences. And before starting the program, it's my duty to express my gratitude to my university authorities and also our head of the department, Professor G. Sandhya Rani, who is also an organizing secretary of this capacity building program. And she is also the head of the Women's Studies Center as well as Department of Women's Studies. I must be thankful to them for giving me this opportunity to conduct this 1 week National Capacity Building Program on research methodology. I warmly welcome our President, Professor Chada NK, President, International Career Coach Association, USA, for his ready acceptance to be the resource person for today's program. I must be very thankful to you, sir. Soon after you have accepted my invitation, requisition, and immediately accepted and joined as a resource person for today's program, which is very important, developing of the tools and construction of questionnaire, standardization of the questionnaire, and today you are going to tackle with. Thank you so much, sir. And I deem it a privilege to invite you, all the participants, without whose participation, this program would not be a success. And before handing over the session to Professor Chada, I would like to introduce him to this elite group. Professor N.K. Chada is a former professor and Dean International Relations and Chairperson, Council for Doctoral Program at Manav Rachna International University. He is the former professor and head Department of Psychology, University of Delhi, Delhi, and also the former director and head Department of Adult Continuing Education and Extension, and chairman Board of Research Studies in Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Delhi, Delhi. And for 5 consecutive years, he was the panel of judge for PM's Trophy for the steel industry and the task force member of Performance Management Division of Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India. He was the senior consultant to UNDP on career development. Professor Chada has been teaching in the Department of Psychology, University of Delhi since 1982. He has authored several books which are used as textbooks in many universities in India and abroad, and at undergraduate, postgraduate, and research levels. Some of the publications are Applied Psychometry, Aging and the Aged, Challenges to Indian Gerontology, Think Before Getting Grey, and Recruitment and Selection, Organizational Behavior, Human Resource Management, Social Psychology, Dream of Psychology, Counseling Skills, Knowing the Self, and others. And he has also co-authored the book with John Van Willing, University of Kentucky, USA, entitled Social Aging in Delhi Neighborhood. And he has been conducting many ongoing research projects with foreign universities and has carried out a number of major interdisciplinary and collaborative projects. He has published more than 120 articles in various scientific national and international journals, which are often quoted by other researchers. He is on the management bodies of many institutions in India and abroad. He was invited by the UN to attend experts group meeting held in UN headquarters on family issues. And he has traveled extensively and lectured in almost all the continents of the universe, namely UK, USA, Spain, Hungary, Sweden, Malta, Germany, France, Canada, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore, Taipei, Japan, UAE, and China, Colombia, South Africa, Philippines, and Vietnam. is such a vast experience and a great traveler also is being amidst us. He is involved in development of standardized psychological tests for many multinational companies and public sector companies for the purpose of recruitment and selection of middle and higher management levels. He has developed many psychological instruments for assessment at the individual and group level for a purpose of research and selection of best career for an individual. He is one of the leading psychometricians in India, and his book on applied psychometry is widely used by the students and practitioners of the psychological assessment. Professor Chadha is the president of the India Career Development Association and also the president of the Indian Association of Positive Psychology. He is also the former president of the Asia Pacific Career Development Association, Maryland, USA, and recently he has taken, he has been awarded the National Career Development Association USA Presidential Award on 28th June 2017 at Orlando, USA, and the Global Practitioner of the Year 2015 on June 30th, 2015 during the annual conference held at Denver, USA. Recently awarded Lifetime Achievement was by Asia Pacific Career Development Association during its annual meeting held on 22nd May 2019 at Vietnam. Recently awarded Iconic Award in Psychology on 24th November 2021 by Indian Association of Health Psychology during their international inference held at GBU Noida. Presently working as Chief Psychometrician, Midler India, and Advisor cum Chief Psychometrician Welln, and recently has taken the responsibility of President, International Career Coach Association, USA. So this is a small brief about, brief narration about Professor Chadha, and I must be very, very thankful for being amidst us, sir. Our participants are eagerly waiting to hear you. Now the session is open to you, sir.
Good morning to all the participants and the organizers from my side. And thanks, first of all, for inviting me, Umaji, and your Sangeeta ji for this morning on the third day of the faculty development program. And I'm sure they must have made me the co-host, because in between, after 5 minutes, I will be sharing my PowerPoint to you people also. But before I start with the topic is data collection and focus largely on the construction and standardization of a questionnaire, the schedule, the test, the inventory. And dear participants, when I will start sharing my screen, I will be also keeping my chat box open so that you can ask me question as and when you feel like asking question. It's not that you ask me the question only at the end, but wherever you have the question, you can just put on the chat box, or I don't know, even if you can unmute yourself and then put the question, mute yourself immediately, so that no, there is no least disturbance to others. Otherwise, keep it your mute yourself. So I see on you, but I will try to keep on reading the question from the chat while sharing my thoughts. And but at the end also, definitely at the end also, I will try to have about 10-15 minutes so that you can ask me, interact with me, ask me the questions. But one thing, you know, which was not a part of my talk today, but when Umaji started giving my introduction, something came stuck to my mind. I think that's very important. All of you are either teachers, or some of you are research scholars, tomorrow going to be teacher, going to handle the student and the class. So I thought this is my life experience, which just came when Umaji was giving my introduction. I was a little scared. In the sense, I thought I said at that profile, small profile note, because she wanted to put on a poster, so I said she can pick the point and just write on the poster one or two words behind my name. But anyway, start she narrating it, And when she was narrating it about my introduction, I was start thinking, is Umaji my well-wisher or my enemy? Okay, why I'm saying? No, you can
I don't know to
decide
you, sir.
you can decide whether she's my enemy. Listen, my experience, when she was giving my narration about my profile, I regress back to 1986. 1986, I was visiting professor at the University of Virginia in USA. And one fine morning, I got a call. That time we don't have the mobile phone, we have the only landline. So I got a call from one of my old students who had migrated from India to USA, working over there as a school psychologist. And she was not very far away from University of Virginia. She was in Washington, D.C., the US capital. And she asked me, sir, why don't you come and give some training to our students of the age of 14 to 16 years of age, and how to develop creativity among children, how to make them innovative. And she knew that I had been conducting these kind of training programs, life skill programs since many years. And I accepted the invitation. When I accepted the invitation, I went to that place. They drove me to that place. I went to the school, and she took me to the classroom where there were about 37 students of the age of 14 to 16. They were sitting over there. And like Umaji, she brought me in front of you at this moment. And similarly, she took me to the class where all students were sitting. All were white. There were no Asian or black. It was totally white. Normally in US, it's a mix. Basically, racials are mixed. Anyway, and she took me over there and gave my introduction. She said, here is a man from India, professor who was my mentor, who was my teacher. And he's visiting professor here in University of Virginia. So I requested him to come and conduct 3 days program. So I made a contact 3 days, 4 hours every day with them, like the character development program. So she started narrating about me, my publication, blah, blah, the way the Umaji was narrating, she also started narrating it. Then in the introduction, she said, he's a man from science. In fact, I have done physics honors. I've done physics honors, MSc mathematics, then came to psychology. So I came from hardcore science. So here's a man from hardcore science who has made his career in the area of social sciences. And she took about 5-6 minutes to give my introduction and give me the class, and she left. I started my session the way I'm going to start just now with you. And at the end of the session, I did a mistake. The mistake was, which every one of you do, that, what is that? At the end of the session, like as a teacher, you also do the same thing. It's a mistake, but it's a beautiful mistake. In the sense that, I said, do you have any question to ask me before I leave this room to see you tomorrow? I'm sure you must be asking this question to your children in the class. Do you have any question? Otherwise, we will meet in the next class or next time, or Monday or Tuesday, whenever next time we are meeting. I also did the same thing. I said, do you have any question to ask me before I leave this room? And we'll see you tomorrow again at the same time. And continue where I'm leaving today. And one boy who was sitting in the batch, he raised his little finger like this. Listen, the American culture, raised his little finger like this. He says, Mr. Chadda, I have a question for you. Child of the age of 15, 16 asking me, Mr. Chadda. The moment he said, Mr. Chadda, that word of Mr. Chadda hit me like a hammer hitting my head. Because last 4 hours, I was thinking, I'm a sir. Am I right? When you go to the class, and if you are male, the children will take you as a sir. If you are female, the children will take you as a ma'am or madam. So I thought I am a sir. But this boy reminded me, you are a Mr. Chadda. I thought for a moment, is it that this boy trying to insult me as my skin is brown, my skin is not white color, I'm not a white color. Is it that? But then I recollected, no. This boy is an American boy. Listen the culture, see the culture. This boy is an American boy, born and brought up in US. When they call their father by name, My uncle by name, calling me by name is a very general way of addressing. It's not an insult. So I should not be. So then I asked him, it took me 30 seconds to recollect myself, compose my emotions. Now, do you have a question for me? He said, yes. I said, go ahead. He said, listen, he said, oh, your lecture was wonderful. It's first time I sat for 4 hours. I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow. I don't know whether I will be having a comfortable sleep today or not. I'm excited to see you again. I said, okay, thanks. But I think you have a question. Why don't you come to the question? He said, as I learned from my teacher, listen, what he said, as I've learned from my teacher, you are a man from science background. This is the danger of my biodata, which has been narrated over there, like Umaji also done just now. He said, as I learned from my teacher, you are a man from physics. So my question is not from psychology, not from creativity. My question is from physics. And my question from physics. He said, hold on. This is 86. I passed my BSc with physics in 74. It's 12 years back. I don't think I can answer your question in physics. I'm not touched with physics. You can ask me a question in psychology. He said, never mind. I've learned a lot from the Indian professors. They are very genius, very hardworking Indian professors. So I thought you are the right person to answer my question, because this question is there in my head from many, many years. You got it? The child want to ask me the question only in physics, not in. I was scared how I will handle, but there were no other option. He had not asked me, can I ask or not? He asked me, I want to ask you. He was not giving me any option, agree or disagree, yes or no, which most of the time we do in the questionnaire. We put a question, agree, disagree, undecided, strongly agree, strongly disagree, but no. He had not given me any choice, but he said, can I ask you that question? Obviously, I have to say yes, there was no option with me. So with the scared mind, with disturbed emotions, I said, go ahead, ask that question. The question he asked was wonderful. I hope you will love it. The question was, what is the weight of the earth? What is the weight of the earth? The moment he asked the question, believe me, my dear participants, spontaneously it came out from my mouth. Oh, it's a wonderful question. He said, what is the weight of the earth? How heavy this earth is? It spontaneously came out from my mouth. Oh, it's a wonderful question. The moment I said it's a wonderful question, this boy also responded me spontaneously by saying, I know. I said, what is the weight of the earth? The boy said, I said, it's a wonderful question. And he responded too, saying, I know, it's a wonderful question. I said, I'm sure there must be answer, but I don't have the answer. I'm sure if you scan the book of physics, you will find the answer. The boy told me, Mr. Chadha, you are coming tomorrow. Is it possible for you to find the answer for me? So it means he gave me the home assignment, which you people give to your teacher many times. You don't know. Many times you put the question, teacher take the question home and then work on that. Otherwise they will be having a sleepless night. Or that's the quality of a good teacher, I would say. So he said, Mr. Chadha, you are coming tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Is it possible for you to find an answer for me? So he wanted me to read books of physics and find. Again, no option. I said, okay, I will try, but I'm not sure whether I will be successful or not. In the sense, I don't have the books of physics with me. Otherwise, I could have seen the books of physics and try to find out for you. If I'm back in India, I could have gone to the library to dig out some books. The boy told me, he's smartest of the boy. This should be the type of student which we should have, to my mind. I said, Mr. Chadda, do you know we have a very excellent library in our school? You can borrow the books from there. You got me? He said, you can borrow the books from there. So he gave me direction also. Maybe planned not to leave me. Anyway, I went to the staff room. I met my student and they offered me a coffee, a cake, etc. She was introducing me to the colleague, but I was not interested because I know tomorrow I have to face the same boy in the same room to answer that question, how I will face him. Meantime, I went to the library with the intention. I told to the librarian, can I borrow 4 or 5 books of physics? I don't know the name of the author. I don't know the name of the title also. Just give me any latest 3 or 4 books. Tomorrow I will come and return to you. I promise, because tomorrow I'm coming. She said, no problem. So she said, give me half. I said, I'm looking a book to find the answer of this question. This lady said, librarian said, hold on, just give me 10-15 minutes. I'll find a good book for you for this. So, but he gave me a book. She gave me a book, which was written by John Palmer from the University of Kentucky. And he got a Nobel Prize in 1909 to find the mathematical equation to calculate the weight of the earth. So she showed me, are you looking for this? She showed me that page. I said, yes, I'm looking for this. Please give me 3 pages photocopy. First page where there's a formula is there. Second page where the interpretation is there given. You know, there's a mathematical formula. There's always interpretation of A stand for this, D stand for this, K stand for whatever. And one, the cover of the book. I need this on the transparency. That time we don't have the OHP. We don't have the overhead projector. We used to have the overhead projector, plastic sheet. We used to write, I think your teacher knew that. Some of the senior knew that, a plastic sheet. There were no PowerPoint that time. We have. So she gave me, I went to the class next day. I had a wonderful sleep. Went to the class next day. And you can imagine, I was moving in the class. I moved to the class as a king is moving. Okay, my shoulders are up. I walked through like this. Before I reached the podium, I asked, is that boy present today in this room who yesterday asked me what is the weight of the earth? Where is that boy? Boy was sitting in another place. He said, I'm here, Mr. Chadda. Do you have an answer for me? I said, yes, I have an answer for you. I said, is a book in your library? I showed the first transparency. Then the second transparency, I showed the mathematical formula. I explained the mathematical formula. That was not very difficult for me, being a science background, and how it's calculated. The moment I finished in 7 minutes, believe me, everyone cheered. And I overheard someone said, oh, Indians are really very sharp, very hardworking. So I felt, not NK Chadda. NK Chadda by not a Potter by Indian, we people. They like, I said, thank you for appreciating our efforts. But this boy, no smile, indifferent face, he seems he's not happy. I saw towards him, I asked him, it seems you're not happy with my answer. He said, thank you, your answer is great. Thanks for putting effort. I said, but then why you're not happy? You put a question, I give the answer. It's not me. He said, John Palmer, the Nobel laureate. I had a book in the library also. And from there, I got a photocopy of these pages. He said, that's okay. I appreciate that. But I have another question related to the answer you have given. He said, I have another question related to the answer you have given. I said, what is that? He said, allow me to ask that question too. I said, go ahead. Ask me that question. And the second question, you will love it more than the first question. The second question which he asked me, this boy, is this weight which you have calculated, is including the human beings on the earth or excluding human beings on the earth? Is this weight including human beings on the earth or excluding the human beings? Is a creative question coming? Is an innovative mind coming? Why all these things were coming? Because my introduction was given by the teacher in such a fashion. She told he's a man from physics. The same thing Umaji have done it. She had given that introduction of mine by raising your level of expectations. She told me blah, 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 so much about me. I was a little scared because she raised your expectations. Okay? No, I can't start my lecture from the bottom. I have to build up the lecture. And I promise, with your interaction, with your active involvement, if you can be active listener rather than a passive listener. When I say active listener, I always love my audience to very active listeners, so they can chat with me, they can put the question between, so that we can grow in the process in that. Today's what I will be talking with you. I will be talking basically about the data collection. And let me do the flow chart so that you know from where I'm starting, where I'm going to end my talk. This is the way I generally make a flow chart. So I will be talking with the data collections from both angles, from the primary data, from the secondary data. Okay, there's a primary data there. What are the sources of primary data? I will share with you. But then largely my focus will be on the primary data, which constitutes three different ways: observation as a method of data collection, then interview as a method of data collection, and questionnaire as a method of data collection. Okay, so I will talk about little about observation, little about about the interview and the questionnaire. Once I will discuss it, then I will be focusing on framing of the questions, how the questions are to be framed, what are the things to be kept in mind while putting the question, by raising the question in front of your sample, the subject, or from wherever you're collecting data, whether you're collecting data on the young children, or the children, or the adolescent, or the adult, or the senior citizen, or the working woman, non-working woman, whatever you're doing. Then I will discuss for you the questioning, how the question to be asked. Two very prominent methods you must be aware of it, but I will dwell on that a little bit more. That is close-ended questions and the open-ended questions. I will discuss about it. Okay. Then one very essential element which I find mostly missing in the researchers' documents when they collected the data, the covering page. Covering page is very, very essential. When you give the questionnaire to anyone to fill up, what are the questions, how to frame it, that I will discuss. But the covering letter is a very, very essential. That will speak about you, your institution, where you are working, your objective. So what are the highlights points I will discuss over there. From there, I will discuss about a very important component of reliability of your tool, reliability of your questionnaire. Can I rely, and what are the factors to be kept in mind by reliability, determining the reliability of the instrument and validity of the instrument? If your instrument or the questionnaire, maybe more often I will use the terminology in instrument. Please, if I use the term instrument, don't get confused. I'm talking about the questionnaire, schedule, or inventory, because in psychology, we use the term very often. In fact, question, we don't call it questions in psychology, we just call it items. Items are nothing but the questions, the solutions, or the statements which we are putting in front of us. So I will discuss about that. The importance, because if the questionnaire is very reliable and very well learned, then your questionnaire will be used not only for your research only, but the future researcher will also utilize that, take that instrument into consideration. When they take that instrument into consideration, definitely they have to refer you. Your name will come first, because you are the author, not they are the author. You have the copyright of your questionnaire, and that will increase the impact factor of your research work. Because today's time, we talk a lot about the impact factor, whatever you publish, how much impact factor is there. So that's, if your own work has been referred by others, then that becomes the impact factor that reaches your impact factors largely in your tools. So this is entire. Just give me a moment to bring my screen, and then I will ask one of you, can you see my screen? Just you tell me yes, you can, so that I know that screen is there in front of you. Can you see my screen? It's visible?
Yes, sir.
It's visible. Okay, well, I just want to check. And let me also open my chat column. Just for a moment first. Okay. So methods of data collection. First of all, any research in social sciences, even in sciences also, can be classified in three classes or three phases. One can say phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is identification of the problem. Identifying a problem. Phase 2 is development of the methodology for which the program, this quality development program is development of the methodology. And then phase 3 will be the discussion of the findings and implications of the findings. The discussion of the findings and implication of the findings. So first thing is identification of the problem. Second, methodology, which will constitute rationale of the research. Why you are doing this research? What is the rationale behind it? Then comes the objective. So I think someone will talk to you. Then the hypothesis or hypotheses. Okay. When it's more than one, we call it hypothesis, SES. If it's a one, we call it hypothesis. Okay. Then the different types of hypotheses are there. I hope that will also be, that's not part of my program, but if you have question, I love to answer on that also. And then when you develop your rationale after identification of from the phase 1, develop your rationale and the hypothesis, then to verify the hypothesis or to meet the objectives, you require an instrument, a tool to collect tool along with the sample also. Tool and sample, I've seen there is someone is talking on the sampling also. Tool and sample also. You need to talk about. And tool is data collection. Data collection, which I'm talking today, is the tool which we use for data collection. And whatever the information you obtain from the tool, then the treatment of that data. How the data to be treated by that. Once treatment has come, then the third phase will reach at that time. That is your discussion, interpretation of the results, and implications of the research. The applied side of the research. That's a critical, applied oriented, how it is beneficial to the society. Now, first phase is identification. When we talk about identification, it's not that difficult. What I do, I had been doing, and Delhi University, I've supervised somewhere about 62 PhD doctor students have done their PhD here in India, in Delhi University under me. And I always adopted a methodology. I always ask my students, this is my way of working, that like a lay person, not like a scientist, okay? Not like an academician, like a lay person, you tell me what is your interest, what comes to your mind, what you are eager to do. And this can be possible by two methods, by keeping keen observations, what's happening surrounding. Okay, just keep observation, you can find out, not with much effort, with the problem which struck you, which you would like to investigate, you like to research on, you like to dwell more upon that. Or you can take the help of existing literature. When I say existing literature, then basically I'm talking about a secondary data. So you can have it and research. What I've seen, I've seen so many evaluated so many theses. I'm just telling you. Here, as you know, I'm in US. In fact, I came about 4 months back from US again, leaving on the 27th March back to US. I work over there these days for the UNDP. And their thesis, the difference I tell you, the thesis over here and there. Here, thesis in review of literature chapter, the candidate have listed 10 or 20 studies. Study 1, study 2, study 3, study 6, and then end. That's not the review of literature. Review of literature chapter is very, very far.
Please mute yourself.
Please.
Yes, please continue, sir. Oh,
Okay, I've done. I've unmuted myself. Okay. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. So, review of literature, I was talking about this chapter, you know, this is a very powerful chapter. The review of literature chapter basically is a chapter which is a foundation for the phase 2 and phase 3, both phases. Review of literature chapter, when you give these studies, you need to conclude from these studies what these studies are suggesting and what are the possible research gaps which these studies have not taken into consideration. And those gaps will become your objective and hypothesis for your phase 2, which will drive you to the phase 2. And most of the thesis, the discussion of the interpretation of the result, whatever findings you got it, suppose there are group A and B, you find the try to find the difference on any of the parameters, and you find that you apply a beautiful statistical method, definitely great. You have used SPSS, statistical practice for social sciences, and there are differences are coming, and you are referring the differences. So these are the differences in the interpretation. That's not the conclusion. Here we need to relate the results with the review of literature chapter. What the other researchers have said. Suppose there are 10 studies are there. 8 studies shows there is I'm just randomly saying, positive relationship between A and B, variable A and variable B. Okay, 8 studies are saying there is a positive relationship between variable A and variable B. 2 studies are saying there is no difference, no relationship or insignificant relationship. Good. And your finding in the phase 2 indicates there are no significant differences. A review of literature, the 8 studies are indicating significant differences, 2 are saying no significant differences, no significant relationship, and you are also stating after analysis there are no relationship between A and B. Then what is next? Next is, no, that means your studies is, your findings are in contradiction to the findings of those 8 researchers, which you are listed in the review. So here you need to relate this, not only saying our findings, the present findings are in contradiction to the finding of blah, 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 blah. This is one part. The second part is you have to give justification. Your findings are okay, accurate. I'm not saying your findings are not accurate. Other personal findings are also accurate. Other researcher findings are also accurate. So here you need to give a justification how your findings are. If they are in contradiction, why these contradictions are there? There your field experience is very important. What you learn from the field experience with qualitative data is coming from the field, you relate with those and give justification. Whatever situation come to your insight, your thinking is very important, how you are relating it. Or your findings are, maybe your findings are in line with the other 2 researchers. So review of literature chapter invariably has been seen like a independent chapter, given chapter number 2 in the thesis, research reports, and then nowhere it has been utilized. So think over it. And here are the two methods which are used for data collection: are secondary sources, which I just referred, and the primary resources. The following are the secondary resources, but social sciences largely we work on the primary resources. But at times, when we do the meta-analysis, we use the secondary sources like government publications, early research, census, personal records. Personal records basically in the corporate world very much use the personal. Client history, this is as the clinical settings, clinical social sciences settings, social work settings. We use the client history, which are very important, and the service records of the. So these are the 6 which are the secondary sources which are used for the keeping your data. But then this is someone else. You don't have the copyright on that. You have the copyright on the conclusion which meta-analysis you do from there, but not on the original sources. Original sources are someone else. Someone have done that search, and credit or discredit goes to him or her, not to you. But the conclusion which you derive from there, largely what we use these secondary sources for developing ourselves to the hypothesis, objective hypothesis, to go to the primary sources. And here are 3 major primary sources. I'm talking quantitative sources. I'm not talking about the qualitative. Focus group discussion, narration, I'm not taking over in this at this moment. Let's go. The 3: observation, interviewing, and questionnaire. Okay, as I said initially also, I will focus more on the question from here on. Observation. There are 2 types of observations, that is participant and participant observation. More powerful observations are participant in nature. I'm looking at some question I've got now. Okay. There are 2 types of observation. One is the participant observation or the non-participant observation. Participant observations are there. You are part of that community. You're part of that sampling setting. And as one of them, and many times the participant observation, the researcher who is doing, not showing, not revealing that he or she is taking any kind of observation. There are ethical issues also on that. There's a lot of debate even till today is going on. And non-participant are there. You are doing observation. You are not part and parcel of that. You don't belong to that organization. And there's a criticism for that also, but there's plus point also in that the criticism sometimes comes on this. If you're non-participant, you don't have the feel, don't have the insight, and you act as a foreigner to the setting. So why the setting will reveal the entire information to you? So you get the information which is half-baked information, not fully baked information you will get from there. And interviews, they are structured, and I will not spend much time on that, but I will spend more time on the closed-ended and open-ended. Structured interview and unstructured interview. Structured interview, name very clearly reveal to you people that when the questions are pre-planned, pre-framed, you framed all the questions, and same question you are using for all the respondents, all the sample members on whom you are collecting your data. The same will be employed. Unstructured are there, where there's nothing. Most of the interviews, when interview taken place, the interview for the job and placement, etc. And I hope you will agree with me, they are the largely unstructured interviews. From your answer, the interviewer will ask you the question. He or she will frame the question from your answer. Okay. So, and if you are intelligent enough, I sometimes train. If you have time, you can just go to YouTube and put my name, NK Chadda. I have my YouTube channel also. There, I put a couple of videos to help clients to understand how to face the interview, how to answer the question, what is the role of different kind of your answering and body language in that. If you are interested, that's a different area, so you can just think. But unstructured interview, and if you're, I hope you will agree with me, if you're intelligent enough, you can force, you can compel the interviewer to ask the question of your choice. So if, say for example, you're going to job interview, I'm taking your interview, you can force me to ask the question of your choice. Agree, disagree? Let some of you, but let me see you active with me on the chat. Write on the chat, agree, disagree? Come on. I'm saying, unstructured, you can force, you can compel the interviewer, the expert, to ask the question of your choice if you are intelligent enough. I just want to know whether, just want to see whether it's making any sense to you or not.
Yes, agreed, sir.
Agree. Okay. And how this can be done? Let me explain you. When you answer a question in such a fashion that you talk something but don't explain it. Something, India had won World Cup number of times. This is the answer given respondent. India won the cricket match number of times. T20 World Cup. Don't you think this is compelling me to ask how many times India won? So that means you put the question in my mind. I'm just giving a very simple way. You put the question in my mind and I'm asking that question. So you're living something. There are number of authors have done work in this area. This work has been done by few researchers at the Tirupati University. That's creating enough interest me. Can you list the name of the researcher? That means you are giving me the question, I'm putting the question. When you answer the question again, the research has been widely quoted. These are the researchers, the research has been widely quoted. That means again you're putting a question in my mind that please ask where it has been quoted. Are you getting? This is chain of the question. If you are intelligent enough, you can put the question in the mind of in the thought process of the interviewer so that he can ask. So that's unstructured question. Unstructured questions are not same. I know many times I'm sitting in an interview board in the psychology department when I was heading with the department. So what kind of question can be asked? I say I don't know what kind of question asked. Those questions will be dependent on what kind of answer you are giving it. If you give me the answer, I will pick the question. Nothing in my hand at this moment. So then questionnaire, I will dwell detail on this questionnaire. This is my major interest with you to share. Mailed questionnaire and the collective questionnaire. Collective is nothing but a face-to-face questionnaire. Mailed question is there, which is mail and the internet, Google Drive, you can do the questionnaire. But there are advantages, disadvantages, which I will. So this I was referring. Please make a very effective cover letter. This cover letter will increase your probability of getting responses from your sample. First, cover letter should cover, introduce you and the institution you are representing. Give your introduction, not a paragraph, just 1 or 2 lines. You and your organization you are representing. Describe in 2 or 3 sentences the main objectives of the study. Why you are doing a study. That objective to be described to the respondent so that respondent can relate with your objective over there. Otherwise, he might take question from you, you deliver or you post, mail it, whatever, return will be 38, but not more than 38% has been seen across the globe. Explain the relevance of the study. on your cover letter. Fourth, indicate that participation in the study is voluntary. That is, they have the right to say no or quit. Got it? They have the right to say no or quit. So tell them this is voluntary and you are approaching to the respondent. 5, assure respondents of the anonymity of the information provided by them. By no way it's unethical. It's a legal issue. You need to maintain the confidentiality of the information we have collected. So assure the respondent, give confidence to the respondent, confidence to your sample that anonymity of the information provided by you, given by you, will not be revealed with anyone, will be used only for the such purpose. Provide contact number in case they have any questions. Either email you can give, or you can have mobile number, landing, whatever, so that if the respondent has the right, he or she is giving you data, he answering your question. That doesn't mean your questions are he or she answering and bye-bye, nothing, no relationship, no. He has the right to ask you. So henceforth, provide the contact number that shows your honesty and sincerity on your part. Give return address and deadline to return the questionnaire. When the question will be returned, if it's a mailed question there. Thank them for their participation study. So your cover letter should constitute, it's not 1, 2, 3, you're putting step by like this. It is just a running matter, a paragraph 2 which should constitute the points which are just tried to highlight on the cover letter. This is very important and very essential to give it. Note, types of questions. I'm just putting this 3 questions in front of you. Here I need your attention. Say for the first question I'm putting, trust building is the first step in effective coaching or counseling. Okay. And the responses are agree, disagree, or agree, disagree, undecided, or strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. Either you give first kind of response category, agree or disagree, trust building is the first step of effective coaching, or you give second type, agree, disagree, undecided, or you give the third type, that is strongly agree. This is generally we call it a Likert type. There's a name, Likert type, which is 5 choices. Strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. Okay. Or I am putting a question, what is the first step in effective coaching? Okay. What is the first step in effective coaching? Or third type of question I'm putting, trust building is the first step in effective coaching with one of the 3 options, agree, disagree, undecided, strongly agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. 5 choices. One, not all 3 are to be given, only 1 to be given. Why? So 3 types of questions I'm giving. First type of questions are where I'm giving the options, which I've shown you. Second, I'm not giving any option, I'm keeping it open. Third, I'm giving you option, then keeping it open. Okay. What is the first type? Anyone having idea what type of this question is? Question number 1. What type of this question is? Anyone? What type of the question 2 is in social sciences? Anyone?
Closed type and open type questions.
Which one is closed type? Which one is open type? You're right. Which one is closed type? Anyone?
Actually, depending upon the research problem, we need to collect both the qualitative and quantitative data so that we will get the accurate result for
Achha,
Am I
go
wrong?
for, if I do only quantitative, then accurate result will not come. You want to say this thing, right?
Yeah. A mixed type of questionnaire will give us the accurate result, I think.
No, that's not true. You can have mixed, it's not problem, but you can have only qualitative. You can have only focus group discussions, no problem.
Collection of data from for the purpose of census, quantitative will be mostly utilized and it will serve the purpose. But for a specific topic or specific subject of the research problem, we need to go for both qualitative and quantitative types of questionnaire.
I want to understand the personality of people. Why should I go qualitative? I will go quantitative. I have a standard questionnaire which are available to study the personality. Why should I go for? I will collect the data, 3,000, 5,000 people across. Why should I go for that? A qualitative data, then it's the interpretation, is subjective, is lack of reliability. You interpret differently, I interpret differently. 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Can it be 2 plus 2 equal to 5? Can 2 plus 2 equal to 5?
No.
No. Okay. But if there's 2 people and 2 people, 4 people, I can presume the outcome can be equal to 5 people. Their interaction. Or outcome can be equal to 2, equal to 0. They pull the leg of each one in the opposite directions. One say it's a synergy is there, other say there's no synergy available. So second time, Ravati wrote second type of question is known as open-ended questions. A first type of question number 1, it's a open or close. First one is a close-ended question. Second one is a open-ended question. Third one. Anyone would like to write on the chat? Third one. Third one is a mixed kind. Okay, mixed kind, but mixed kind is always starting with a close-ended going to open-ended, not open to close. Starting with a close-ended going to the open-ended. Anyway, don't worry. I think further slide will clear. So the 3 questions are there. Question number 1 is a close-ended question. Second is open-ended question. Third one is semi-close-ended or mixed type of question. Close-ended when boundaries are fixed. Okay. Range is defined, like agree, disagree. At 2 points or 3 points, agree, disagree, undecided. So I've given 3 points. There's no 4 options. You have to answer either agree or disagree or undecided. And the last one, 5 points. That is Likert type, LIKERT, Likert type. Strongly agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. Okay, range. And open-ended, range is not defined. There's no range. The respondent can answer the way he or she would like to answer. He or she may like to take 2 minutes to answer, or the person might like to take 20 minutes to answer. And if he or she moves, I hope you will agree with me, if he or she, this is dangerous sometimes with the qualitative, the respondent deviates from the issue and start narrating kind of story which have no relevance, which is not your objective. Maybe that is his or her mindset. Based on the mindset, he had some trouble, she had some trouble. Based on that, he or she takes the direction. You can't stop him. But that doesn't mean quality data is not important. The quality data is also important. And mixed type is, we are partially defined, as I said, close-ended, then the open-ended. Now, please see the next, my 4th slide, and then I will be putting you a question after that. And your question, I hope you will answer based on this slide. So first, let's talk about the close-ended question. What are the advantages of this close-ended question? It's easy for the client to answer. Options are available there. Okay, you can just give a tick mark. It's much easier. I hope you will agree with me. Yield information quickly. Within no time, you can have an entire class of 100 people. Ask them to sit in a class, in a hall. And quickly, you can yield a lot of information. In the shortest time, you can have 100 questions answered by him.
Easy for analysis.
Okay, easy for analysis. That's also good point. Easy for analysis. But if you talk about the qualitative, qualitative, they say qualitative much easier, because qualitative you are collecting data only 10 people or 20 people. In the quantitative you are collecting data 300, 400, 500 people, whereas 5,000 people. You will have a very large amount of data. Okay, you can narratives. You can take 5 subjects and you can make a narrative from that. But then I will come to reliability very quickly, then you will see. So use for clarifying information, you can dig out the information. If you see the third question mixed. They were clarifying why the information. Then this is the one to keep this in mind while answering my question on the chat. Strict client to brief answer, so there's no opportunity to go if he want to or she want to answer something. Then no. Please answer about the option which we have given. Only within that option. Keep the question in control of the conversation. You control. So you know that 30 minutes or 20 minutes the question is to be answered. You know, all these questions to be answered. So control stay in your hand. May make client feel interrogated. Your question can be taken. This is very serious issue. Question can be taken as you are interrogating. You're questioning like an income tax or police officer to him. He or she can take those as interrogating questions of yours. Disadvantage. And maybe perceived. Your question may be perceived. You see, danger empirical findings have indicated very clearly questions are perceived as advice or criticism. You told me, when I never told you. No, it was your question. You asked this question to me. So he taken that question 6 choices in the close-ended as the advice or the criticism. These are the disadvantages of the close-ended questions. Let me repeat once more. Advantage, easy for the client to answer, yield information very quickly, useful for clarifying information. Disadvantage, client to a brief answer. I'm repeating it because I want to ask a question after this. Keep the questionnaire in the control of the conversation. Make client feel interrogated and may be taken as perceived as a advice or criticism. Let's see the open-ended. What it tells us, advantages are open-ended. Explore client thoughts and feelings. So deeper into the level of thought and feeling can be digged out. Maybe you get some information here. Client may give, your respondent, subject may give some, have control on that. And it shows your interest in and respect for the client. That means you are respecting the client. You are giving him or her, can be taken as a, okay, here is your researcher who is not only concerned for his data or her data only, but also give the value to the respondent. Provide information you may not have thought about earlier. Maybe some information may provide, it never came to your mind, it was not a part of your question, but he or she may provide unknowingly, but what's in his mind can, so you, because you are reaching to the, exploring into the thoughts and feeling of the, so this is the advantage. And disadvantage may allow client to wander or to avoid the topic. It can. Why you are asking? And I hope you must have seen, some of you must have seen, whenever we give a questionnaire, some people, I don't know why they write it. They give a questionnaire and there is any other comment. Invariably, you find it empty, no response coming on that. Means there you again open and response is not coming. So close-ended answers are quickly coming. This is an indicator for you. May lead to a series of I don't know answers. The moment the respondent says, I don't know, I'm confused, I can't think, that's enough hint for you to stop putting further open-ended questions. He or she has reached to the saturation at that point. If you continue beyond that, you will not get any information, any relevant information with that. Further, basically, you are unconsciously driving the respondent to withdraw. So this is a very clear indicator for you to understand it. So based on the advantage, disadvantage, I just want to know, when you start with the respondent, what do you think? Should we start with the open-ended first or close-ended first? Which one? Open-ended or close-ended? So I've just put in front of the advantage and disadvantage of both. I just want to know which one at initial level we should start. In our largely in quantitative research. Anyone would like to write on the chat box? Let's be active together. Don't be passive listener. I know it's a wonderful group sitting in front of me. Don't shy. It may be wrong answer. At least you made an attempt. Don't just be open. Close one. Come on, what is coming to your mind? Start with the close one. Anyone else? Come on. I'm looking your participation with me. Always start
Tabassum
with the
wrote
close
that close one.
Close one, yes. I've seen some person have written, Tamanna has written over there, but I want other also should. Anyway, so please always start with the close one. Never start with the open one. That's a threatening. That's a basically putting the person into state of confusion. So collect the information, go to the, from there if you like, some information still left because close-ended you can practice, yield a lot of information shorter for time. But the moment you have enough information which is required for yourself, then open to the open-ended, if the need is as is. But in the open-ended, the moment you find the client says, you find it not answering, not he or she is giving an answer, very short kind of answer, like multiple choice, MCQ, A, B, C, D. That kind of shorts are coming. That's the indicator for you as a success. Please don't continue with the open-ended, not going to yield any. Basically, that kind at that stage of open-ended is forcing the client, your respondent, to withdraw from your search. Next time he will not be available. He may make a promise, okay, ma'am, sir, you can, I will do this thing, but take it, will not do it because you put him or her into that position. Keep that in mind. Okay, and that is the reason I've given the third question. The third question, mixed type. Mixed type, what I've given close-ended. When you answer agree, say for example, undecided, then why? I'm getting further information. You get a very rich information, and that why. Somebody was talking quantitative, qualitative. That why qualitative data will help you in interpretation of the quantitative results findings which you have done it. No, I'm coming to the focus today on the development of standardization. Here are the steps. Keep in mind, first, if you want to have a very reliable instrument, the instrument which can be or question which can be used over a time, then please, these are the 7 steps which you must follow in your research. That is, define the construct. Whatever you want to construct, mean what are the variables you want to measure? Definition. Definition should be as per the tune with your cultural setting. It should apply to your culture. The definition, Western definition, European definition, is it applicable on the culture? May not be applicable on the culture. If it's applicable, great. If not, then define that construct. So that write the item, the question. You are writing the question. What for? Which are in line with the variable you want to study. So the writing of the question should be in line with the variables. I will take this at length. Don't worry. Screening the items. You read 100 questions. You may find at the end only 20 are relevant, 80 are not relevant. How to find what are relevant, not relevant is nothing but the screening of the item. So whatever the item has been written, no screening will be done, not by you, maybe by a group of other people independently. Removing the social desirability. Some item may be having a loading on the social desirability. How many times you find your teacher criticize you in the class? Once, twice, thrice, 4 times. So this is the question. How many times your teacher criticize you as an educationist you want to study? How many times the teacher criticize you in the class in front of others in last 1 month? Once, twice, thrice, 4 times? Never. Now this question having a social desirability loading. And you are asking that question to the person to reveal in setting with the other, in relation to the other classmates, other friends together. How many times you have last week, how many times you had a fight with your spouse? It's undesirable. So removing the desirability component, undesirability will be the third step from the question. So the question becomes a neutral, not loaded on the desirability, where person try to give an ideal answer. Selection of the item, then how to select the item based on that. Then the questionnaire reliability and questionnaire validity. I will discuss all these steps for you. So these are the 7 steps which are required to bring a standardized questionnaire for the research purpose in the social sciences. Now, how to frame the question? How to frame the question? Number 1, there are 5 points you must keep in mind. Number 1, always use simple and everyday language. Always use simple and everyday language. So, for example, I'm putting question to: is anyone in your family is dipsomanic? Is anyone in your family dipsomanic? Yes, no. Answer. Did you follow the question? Did you follow the question? Yes, no. Be honest.
No, sir. I don't think so. It's a questionnaire type of question.
This one says, it's a dipsomanic is a word from the Oxford Dictionary. If I ask a British person,
this dipsomanic, it's very hard word.
It's a hard word. That is it. If I said, is anyone in your family having a craving for alcohol? So my question, is anyone in your family is having craving for alcohol?
This is easy for interviewer.
So that is the meaning of the dipsomanic, craving for alcohol. Okay. So please never use the word
majority of
difficult. Don't use
educated
the
also
word.
doesn't know about this dipsomaniac terminology.
So he will.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. You're right.
He or she will answer yes without knowing it. So he feels shame. Should I ask the meaning to my teacher? What the teacher will think about me? So okay, answer it. And you are also saying, please do not leave any question unanswered. You're telling the most of the questions you see on the top is that please answer as honestly as possible, but do not leave any question unanswered. So you're telling me to answer, but I don't follow it. I feel shy to ask you. So henceforth, your language should be everyday, which is spoken, not your literature. Literature is the right word. Like in Hindi, I don't know your Telugu language, but Hindi, you know, train. Train is an English word. And if I say rail, one can understand. Suppose I say, I use the translation of train. The translation of train in Hindi will be Lopatgamani. Lopatgamani. Have you heard about it? Have you heard?
No.
I'm traveling by, today I will travel by Lopatgamani. Or today I will travel by a train or rail. Lopatgamani is the right translation in Hindi, but this is not used in everyday life. So your Telugu language, use that language only which is used every day in about not which is a language. Language is a correct word, but to be. I hope my point is taken by when I say always use, first thing keep in mind, always use simple and everyday language in your question. Okay? Let me give you one more, second point, keep in mind. Do not use ambiguous questions. Do not use ambiguous questions. Like for example, are you satisfied with your college canteen? I'm putting a question. Are you satisfied with your college canteen or university canteen? Yes, no, undecided. For 3 years also. Yes, no, undecided. You think this question is right? This question is not right. Because you don't know what I'm asking. Are you satisfied with your college canteen? No, the 3% who are answering, thousands answering, but 3, I'm getting that. I'm answering yes. Because I'm thinking about the ambience of the college canteen. I'm asking based on the ambience. The second person is saying yes. What is your basis? I'm asking on the quality of the food. The third person is answering based on the price. You don't know what's going, because you're not defined. You're saying, are you satisfied with the college canteen? So this is an ambiguous question because this is not telling what you are asking. College canteen constitute many things. Am I clear? Is your work, for example, is your work made difficult because someone at home is sick? Who's someone? Wife, husband, child, father, mother. You see, again, ambiguous. So please do not ask ambiguous questions. Am I clear? Shall we move further?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Third point. We have 5 points. Please, this will really make the questionnaire very powerful questionnaire. Do not ask double-barreled questions. Do not ask double-barreled questions. For example, how often and how much time do you spend on each visit to your friend? Or how often and how much time do you spend on each visit? So 2 things. How often is different and how much is different. Frequency and intensity. Both are being to no, frequency should be separate. If both are needed in my research, so I will have frequency. Does your department have a special recruitment policy for racial minorities and women? So what I'm doing, I'm clubbing women with the racial minority, SC, etc., whatever. Again, this is a double-barrel question. It should be separated. Make sense? Do not use double-barreled questions. Clear?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Can I use this type of question in open-ended questionnaire like FGD, AI?
Yes, you can.
What kind of policy, the recruitment policy you have? You can ask this question. That's open-ended. But it's very difficult to analyze that.
Yes, yes.
a very powerful grounded theory to analyze that. I'm not going to that. That's different areas. Okay, but you can use it. And
But,
open-ended,
sorry.
open-ended, you may not get the answer also what you're expecting. You know, some people may write a long answer to that. Some people will leave that question
Simply
unanswered.
they confine
You can
only
have-
to the words.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, sir.
but you can use no problem. Okay, do not use double-barreled question. Third thing, am I clear? The fourth one, do not ask leading questions. Do not ask leading questions. Leading questions, that means you're putting an answer in my mouth, asking me to say that. Like, unemployment is increasing in India. Is it not? Unemployment is increasing. Is not it? Means I have given the answer. Don't you think it's increasing? And then I'm putting the answer in your mouth. Smoking is bad. Drinking is bad. Is not it?
So may I have a question, please?
Yeah, please, sir.
Here, unemployment is increasing in India. True or false? Like that, we can modify the questions, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, that you, yeah, absolutely right. You can modify. Don't give this kind of question where the answer is provided in your question itself. Clear? You can modify the question. Unemployment increasing. Agree, disagree. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That can be option, but not giving in the question like the way I've given unemployment is increasing or smoking is bad is not it. So I've given the answer that I'm asking to confirm that way and forcing him to respond in that. Make sense? And last point, do not ask questions that are based on presumption. Do not ask questions that are based on presumption. Like, for example, how many cigarettes do you smoke in a day? That means you're presuming he smokes or she smokes. What medicine you take for blood pressure? That means you're presuming that this person having a blood pressure. Got it? Am I clear? So
Yes,
do not
sir.
ask questions that are based on presumption. There should not be any hidden presumptions over there. If the presumptions are there, that means that question not a very relevant question to be. Not digging up proper information. Once again, I will go back quickly. Number one, note down, always ask simple and everyday language question which are spoken, which is dealt with everyday life. Keep that in mind. Your question should be in that fashion. Second, do not use ambiguous questions. Okay. The question should clear the meaning, what you intend to get from the respondent. And he understands that. Whatever your intention, he understands from that point of view. Number three, do not ask double-barreled questions, which have two things, so separate them into different. Instead of one question, you can have question number 5A or question number 5B, or you can have question number 5 and question number 6. You can divide separate into two different questions. Do not ask questions or leading questions, those questions which have having an answer contained in that. Basically, Q you are giving, providing him. The last one, do not ask questions that are based on presumptions. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
While framing questions, kindly please keep these points in consideration in front of you. So quickly I will move because there are a couple of more things. Okay. So advantage, this is just a routine. It's less expensive. It offers greater anonymity. The questionnaire. This one is application is limited because you're not allowing to go beyond. So you have to see which one is fine. Application is limited. Response rate is very low. As I told, 38%. Opportunity to clarify issue lacking. There's no opportunity over there. You want to clarify something, but there's no opportunity available in that. That's a disadvantage. Spontaneous responses are not allowed for in this. The response to a question may be influenced by the respondent to the other question. So there are other questions might be influencing. You don't know that influence. Maybe question number 5 is influencing the question number 6 while he or she was answering that. That's a disadvantage. It is possible to consult others at times. If the respondent is not very honest or your transfer Sometimes you may not be knowing that whether he or she answered to whom you picked for your sample or somebody else had answered for him. That's this one. But still it's widely used. It's not used. And a response cannot be supplemented with other information in the case. Then interview, quickly move. The interview is more appropriate for complex kind of situations. It is useful for collecting in-depth information in the interview. Information can be supplemented through cross-examination in the case of the interview. Questions can be explained. The questioners, there's no opportunity to explain. He reads the answer, like the first question I've shown you, difficult language. He reads an answer the way you want to answer. Interviewing has a wider application, can be used with almost any type of population, the children, handicapped, illiterate, old, etc. Uneducated population can also be used. That's advantage. But disadvantage is that interview is time consuming and very, very expensive. The quality of data depends on the quality of the interaction, how much trust you have built up. Sometimes I do the counseling for my clients, and you will be shocked. One first step in the counseling is a rapport building with the client. And sometimes I take 3-4 sessions on different days just in forming the rapport. Rapport building, trust to be built on me. Once the trust has been built, more than 50% of the journey I've already covered in that. The quality of data depends on the quality of the interviewer. Let me see if there is any question coming on channel screens. Can you, Parveen, hold this question? You are asking what is the difference between case study and survey method. Please hold this question for some time. I will come back. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Don't forget to ask me this question, please. Good question. The quality of data may vary. The empirically is seen that scientifically quality of the data may vary with many interviewers are used with large numbers. It's not be with many interviewers are used for that purpose. The researcher may introduce his or her bias indirectly. On the lighter side, let me tell you, sometimes I train people to how to prepare for the interview, for the job interview. And I tell them, suppose the question asked by the interviewer, and you don't know the answer. You can't bluff. Obviously, be honest, say, no, I don't know. And second question he asked, and you don't know the answer. Should you say no or should you answer? Avoid saying no as much as possible, but again, don't bluff. Then what to do? I say, ask the interviewer, could you kindly, sir or ma'am, whosoever there, could you kindly repeat the question again? I didn't follow the question. Pardon, could you kindly repeat the question? And whenever he will repeat the question, you can try yourself at the CMT1. You ask the question, and I will ask you, could you kindly repeat the question? When you are repeating the question, there's a possibility you might provide the cue to the question. When you repeat the question, you use the same language, not the same word. You explain it, expand it. While expanding, then the interviewee, the candidate should be intelligent enough to pick up the. Another thing, let me share with you. I said with UPSC also the board, that's I'm telling you. It's a competition among the interviewers also. If you ask the interviewer, could you kindly explain the question again? It's on the interviewer that he could not put the proper question which can be understandable by the candidate. To save his position, to impress upon the colleagues, he will expand the question. And while expanding the question, then introduce the cue, which I'm saying, such a may introduce his or her bias. Whatever is objective in your mind, you might ask a question. What is your search objective? You might ask the question in such a fashion that it gets influenced over there. Okay? An interviewer may be biased also. That is about the client, about the sample. No, this is very essential component. The first component, if you so in the steps I have given you, operational definition. Operational definition, I said, is the operational definition will enable you to have a clarity of the construct and of the dimensions of the scale. Say, for example, I want to assess with my, I want to have a question. I want to see the commitment level of my client, of my sample. Okay, or honesty. I want to study the honesty of the, my questionnaire is to find whether how honest, high, moderate, low person is on the honesty dimension. Clear? No, patient of honest. What is honesty in our culture? What is honesty in our culture? Any one or two can unmute and say, what is honesty?
I will just.
You go to Google, you will find the definition, American definition, European definition. I'm not going to say American definition. I'm going to say not in Europe. I'm going to say Indian definition of honesty. So I'm doing your research on the Indian population. Yes, yes, please. Yep.
I will try to attempt, sir, Mr. Chadda. I will just try to attempt honesty to remain to truth as much as possible.
Truthfulness as much as possible. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? My definition of honesty, open to self. My definition of honesty, open to self. So my concern is self-directed. And someone's definition is, for example, open to others, open to the nation. My honesty is only open to the nation, open to the my teacher, or open to my family. So that could be the definition of that person. If Indian culture more weightage to the self, then my definition should contain self, and my question to be framed in such a fashion that it addresses the self. Okay, it addresses the self. So operation definition, how you make it very simple. It's not very difficult. For example, you want to study the honesty of the working people. Say, for example, talk with 10 working people, ask them what they think. Like I'm asking, what they think about independent, not together. Otherwise, one person who is dominating will influence the other also. Extrovert will influence the other. Introvert who speaks less, I participate in less in the discussion. Anyway, so I will take 5 people. Say, I'm just a small example. I'm taking 5 people from you. Honestly, I will ask you, can you tell me what you think about the honesty? Then asking another person also, another person also, another person also. So I have 5 definitions of my Indian population. Then I will do the content analysis, means find the common elements in that definition and frame on the common element. That becomes the focus of my honesty as per my cultural settings. Make sense? So drive definition, what people think, honesty from my population, and then based on there, I will have a content analysis. Somebody, for example, 4 people are used self diagnosis. Introspection of self is the parameter of, or empathy towards other is 5% empathy towards other. So empathy becomes an important factor of honesty. Because large number of people have, that is one main dimension they are trying. That is the mini operation definition, but it works in your cultural settings. Okay. Then item which have been written, or item means question, as I told you, it is a process through which only those items that are valid and are suited for the purpose of the test or the questionnaire are retained, while the rest are either modified or eliminated. When I will form the question, I will give to 10 independent experts who will see my definition and read through the question and tell me each question independently. 10 experts independently will tell that, Autumn, if you find the question is relevant, it assess what I'm intent to assess, kindly put a tick mark. If you think question is not relevant, not assessing what I'm intent to, my operation definition, put a cross mark. If you feel like modifying any question which can assess my construct operation definition, modified it. If you would, I like to add, you're free to add the question. Okay. So 4 options I've given. If you agree, tick mark. Disagree, put a cross mark. If you feel like modifying, you're free to modify, but keeping in mind the definition. You got me? Operation definition. Keep in mind the operation definition. And free to add the question. And then statistically, if there is 70% agreement, suppose question number 1, you have made 20 questions. Question number 1 has been tick mark agreed by 8 people and 2 people disagree. Should I retain the question or should I drop the question? Agreement is 70%. Should I retain or drop? Question number 1, 8 people agree and 2 people disagree. Should I retain or drop? They are independent experts. Come on. Agree, disagree? Retain. Very good. Yeah. That's a very good retain because it's more than 70%. Question number 2. 5 people agree, 5 people disagree. Should I retain or drop? Question number 2. Drop it because 50%. Question number 3. All 10 people agree. Should I retain? Question number 3. All 10 people agree. So I will retain the question. That. Question number 4. 4 people agree. 4 people disagree. 6 people. Sorry, 6 agree. 4 disagree. So drop. You got me? So this is the way item analysis for each question to be. For these 10 people, be ensured that these people can understand your definition. Okay? And independent, not sitting together. Independently, 10 people have given comments on the questions in light with the definition. And then if the 70%, if the 90% agreement is coming, and you have kept, suppose out of the 40 questions, you drop 10 questions, and 30 questions come with a 70+ agreement. Okay? 30 questions come with a 70% agreement. And you want to retain only 20 questions. You don't want to take, you feel 30 or more, let me have 20 questions. So what you will do? There are 30 questions which are being a 70% plus agreement. So what will you will increase your level of agreement. Means you will retain only which have 80% or 90%. Suppose you got 20 questions which have 90% agreement. And 10 were there which have not 90, which have 80 or 70% agreement, which were included. So if you want to be more rigorous, you can increase your level of, minimum level of agreement is 70%, but you can go to 80%, 90%. If you find all 20 questions, 100% agreement, that means your questionnaire is a great questionnaire. Make sense? Agree? Then item reliability, I will come later. Let me talk something else first of all. Then I will come back to this. It will make more clear to you. Let's talk about questionnaire reliability. Anyone? What is the meaning of reliability? Anyone?
Whether we could get accurate result due to the question or not, I think. I'm not sure, but.
Okay. Here a very simple definition. You're near to definition, but that's not accurate. Word is consistent. A questionnaire is note down. A questionnaire is known to be reliable when it gives consistent score from one equation to another equation of assessment. Got it? A questionnaire is known to be reliable when it gives consistent
Consistency.
results from one equation to another equation of assessment. Say for example, I will explain you. Say for example, I just checked my watch. I'm looking my time. My watch is showing time 12 noon. Okay. My watch is showing 12 noon time. Can any one of you tell what your watch is showing at this moment? What is the time in your watch at this moment? Anyone?
Yeah. 10 to 12.
Your watch
10
is
minutes
showing?
to 12. 10 minutes to 12, sir.
Yeah. So your watch is showing 10 minutes to 12. My watch is showing 12. And after 24 hours tomorrow, at this same time, my watch is showing 12. And your watch is showing 10 minutes to 12. Okay. My watch is showing up to 24 hours, 12. And your watch is showing not 10 minutes to 12, 5 minutes to 12, say for example. Which watch is reliable? My watch is showing 12. After 24 hours, how I assess, I will come to that. After 24 hours, my watch is showing 12. And your watch is showing 11:50 at this moment. After 24 hours, is showing 11:55.
Your watch will be right one.
My watch, not the right, don't say right. My watch is the reliable one. Clear? Right,
Okay.
don't use the word right. It's
Understood. Yes, yes, yes.
So my watch is a reliable one. Your watch is not reliable one. Say for example, after 24 hours, my watch is showing 12:05. And your watch is showing 11:50. So your watch is reliable, my watch is not reliable. Agree? Your watch is showing 11:50. Tomorrow again, at same time your watch is showing 11:50. Your watch is reliable. My watch is showing 12, but tomorrow is showing 12:05. So my watch is not reliable. Okay? The word is consistent. Questionnaire gave consistent result reliable. Okay. Let's see. My watch is showing 12. And tomorrow is showing after 24 hours, not tomorrow. After just 24 hours, showing 12:05. Day after tomorrow, after 24 hours, is showing 12:10. Sorry, 12:10. Today 12. This listen very carefully. Today is 12. Tomorrow 24 hours 12:05. Day after tomorrow, same time at top 12, again 24 hours 12:10. Can I say my watch is consistent? Can I say my watch is consistent, reliable? Today to tomorrow is faster by 5 minutes. Again after 24 hours, again faster by 5 minutes. So what's it happening? It's consistently going faster by 5 minutes. Can I say my watch is a reliable one? Just keep the definition in mind. Can I say my watch is a reliable one? It's a giving consistent. And that is the reason many of us, sometimes your watch is showing, today we are using mobile, otherwise people have the wristwatch. Sometimes you say the time, all the time, the watch of maybe showing you 12:05. You ask, but then, you know, it's at 12. You say, but your watch is at 12:05. It's a faster by 5 minutes. But actual time is 12. Anyway, okay, hold this. Further, I will make it clear. Just forget about this. Please, I will come back to this. Let's see the validity. Then I will come back to that slide again. What is validity? The accuracy of predictability. Keep this definition in mind. What is validity? Extent to which the question measure what is intent to measure when compared with the standard criterion. Question measure what is intent to measure compared with the standard criterion. Clear the definition? I will explain you now. Suppose my watch is showing 11:52 at this moment. My watch is showing 11:52. And India Standard Time, India Doordarshan time, when I switch on the Doordarshan, my Doordarshan time is also 11:52. So my watch is measuring time, and this is compared with my standardized Indian Doordarshan time. Clear? So can I say my watch is valid?
Yes.
Can I say my watch? Can I say my
Yes,
watch
it is valid.
valid?
It is valid, sir.
Okay. So 11:52. Doordarshan time 11:52. Tomorrow, when Doordarshan time was showing 11:52, and my watch is again showing 11:52. So I can say with the confidence my watch is a valid watch. Can I say 11:52 my time, Doordarshan time 11:52. Tomorrow when Doordarshan time 11:52, my watch was showing 11:52. So can I say my watch is a valid watch? Can I say?
You can say.
Okay. Can I say my watch is reliable also? Can I say my watch is reliable also?
Yes, sir. Because it shows the same time after 24 hours.
Excellent. So my watch is, this watch is reliable as well as valid. Make sense? Clear? The meaning of reliability, validity? No. Let's see this, my table, this. If you understand this, this slide, I can say with a challenge, you will never forget about reliability, validity. Suppose I have 3 rooms in my house. I have room number 1, room number 2, room number 3. I have 3 rooms in my house. And on Monday, I switch on the Doordarshan, Indian Standard Time. I saw the watch in room number 1, which was hanging on the wall. The watch was showing 9 p.m. Room number 2 watch was showing 9:05 p.m. Room number 3 watch was showing 9:07 p.m. Doordarshan time 9 p.m., but 3 watches showing 9 p.m., 9:05 p.m., 9:07 p.m. So I made correction. In room number 1, there was no correction. It's same, 0 error. I kept it. Room number 2, I made a correction from 9:05 to 9 p.m. Room number 3, 9:07 to 9 p.m. Okay. Second day, on Tuesday, I again switched on the Doordarshan to see the time. Went to 9 p.m. on the monitor on the television. I saw room number 1 watch was showing 9 p.m., 2 was showing 9:05 p.m., 3 was showing 9:09 p.m. I again corrected them. Room 1, 0 error. Room number 2.
Room number 1 is most reliable and valid one.
Definitely hold on. Room number 3, third day again, I repeated the experiment. So my room, third room, time, Doordarshan time 9, is 9 p.m., 9:05, 9. And it's continuous. Okay. Now keep the definition of reliability will in your mind. I want to ask you, can I say my rule number 1 watch is reliable? Can I say?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Second question. Can I say my rule number 2 watch is reliable?
Of course, yes.
Yes? Okay. You agree. So rule number 1 watch is reliable, you said. Rule number 2 watch, yes. Rule number 3 watch reliable?
No, not yet.
No, okay. Okay. No, valid. Rule number 1 watch is valid?
Yes, it is valid.
Rule number 2
Because
watch
it is
valid?
showing the accurate time.
Don't say that. But you said valid, I accepted your answer for a moment. Rule number 1 was valid. Rule number 2 was valid?
Not
Number two.
valid. Not
Okay.
valid.
Rule number 3 was valid?
No.
No. So I know I'm making a statement. Listen to my statement. Rule number 1 watch and 2 watch are reliable. But rule number 1 watch is valid, 2 is not valid. So I'm making a statement. When a watch is reliable, it may or may not be valid. Agree, disagree? When a watch is reliable, it may or may not be valid. Rule number 1 watch is reliable, it's a valid. 2 is reliable, but not valid. So I'm making a statement. When a watch is reliable, it may or may not be valid. Agree? I can see on the chat a couple of you are telling. I hope you agree with me. Okay. So first conclusion, note down. Any questionnaire, when it's reliable, it may or may not be valid. This is first conclusion.
No, actually.
What happened? Go ahead.
Actually, our questionnaire must be the questions framed must be the reliable, and it should be valid also for getting accurate result. Am I right, sir?
I'm not denying that thing. I said the same thing I said. When watch is reliable, the table shows you. When the watch is reliable, it may or may not be valid. You agree with me? Rule number 1 watch is reliable? It's valid. Rule number 1, 2 watch is reliable? Not valid. So I'm making a conclusion. When a watch is reliable, it may be valid or may not be valid. Yes? It means, note down, any questionnaire, when it's a reliable questionnaire, any questionnaire which is a reliable questionnaire may or may not be a valid questionnaire. Okay, should I move on?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Now see, again, I'm going back. Rule number 1 watch is a valid. No, valid. Rule number 1 watch is valid and reliable. Rule number 2 watch valid? No. 3 was valid? No. So can I say, listen, when a watch is valid, it has to be reliable. Can I say, when a watch is valid, it has to be reliable. See rule number 1. Agree?
Yes.
When a watch is valid, rule number 1 watch is valid, it's reliable.
Yes.
So my statement, when a watch is valid, has to be reliable. So my second conclusion, note down, any questionnaire, when it's valid, it has to be reliable. Okay? Any questionnaire, when it's valid, it has to be reliable. That is second conclusion. Should I move further? Let's see rule number 3 watch. Rule number 3 watch is reliable? No. Rule number 3 watch is reliable? No. Rule number 3 watch is valid?
No.
No. So can I say when watch is not reliable, listen my people, when watch is not reliable, it can never be valid. Can I say? When a watch is not reliable, it can never be valid. Can I say? Rule number 1 watch, rule number 3 watch is not reliable, it's not valid. So I'm saying when watch is not reliable, it can never be valid. Agree? Yes, no? I want to listen from any one of you. Agree, disagree? Agree, okay. So third conclusion, note down, any questionnaire, when it's not reliable, any questionnaire, when it's not reliable, it can never be a valid questionnaire.
Yes, yes.
So reliability will come first, validity will come second. Reliability will come first, and validity will come second.
Yes.
So I need reliability to my instrument to be reliable. I need an instrument, great instrument is that which is reliable as well as valid. So I have to not only ensure reliability of the instrument, I have to first what I have to ensure the reliability, consistency of the result. Second, I have to ensure the instrument measure, my questionnaire measure what is supposed to measure compared with the standard criterion. Okay. Can it take 1 minute off from you? Just 1 minute to someone there have to open to us, you know. Just 1 minute, I will return back. Just 1 minute. Think over it. What I said. Here I'm back. Okay. Is it this table reliability validity clear to you people? I hope it's clear. Should I proceed further? Anyone? The same thing which are already next my slides I've explained you. When a watch is valid, it has to be reliable. This leads to when any question is valid, then it has to be a reliable question. When a watch is reliable, you have written already explained you. It may or may not be valid. This leads to any questionnaire is reliable, it may or may not be a valid question. And when a watch is not reliable, the example which I've taken, it can never be valid. This means when a questionnaire is not reliable, it can never be a valid question. Okay, I hope this is clear. No, let me skip this. Let me go back to this. So, how to find the consistent reliability? If you want, some would you like to calculate? Administer the question to a group and re-administer it on the same group after a week time. Take a sample of 30, administer your questionnaire on that 1 to 30 person, say minimum 30. It's better if you take more than 60, 70, 100. That's great. So then again do it after a period of 1 week, 10 days, 12 days, after 1 week. Minimum gap should be 1 week over there. Okay. So you got two set of score. One, you have done just now, 2 days, say for example, and then you have done after 10 days. So you have two score, test score and retest score. Find the relationship. Okay, find the relationship between both. If the test, I'm reading in for you. If the test is stable and reliable, the correlation between both the scores will be positive. Today, a retest score. If an unreliable test would produce totally different scores on retesting, so score will not be same. If the correlation is 0.8 and above, if the correlation is 0.8 and above, this means your instrument is a reliable instrument. If it is a 9.9, great. The maximum will be 1. So if it's a 0.8, the range.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Chadda.
Yeah.
What is correlation? What is correlation 0.8? I did not get it.
There are two variables. When you relate two things, you know, the correlation value will come out to vary between plus minus 1. It can't be more than 1. It can't be less than minus 1. But in the case of reliability, the correlation will vary between 0 to 1. 0.0 to 1.0. Okay. 0.0 means obviously there's no relationship. They're not. 1 means perfect relationship between the two. If the value of the relationship is 0.8, the relationship value can be 0.1, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 0.10. It can range between 0 to 8. The value, if the value is 0.8 and above, it means the instrument is a reliable instrument. If the value comes up with 0.7, 0.65, this means instrument is not a reliable instrument. The definition, that means you will not get a consistent score. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, but scientifically, I don't know. I think you are taking someone is taking a lecture on.
Treatment of the data correlation also. Hello? Is someone taking on the correlation also?
Day after tomorrow, statistical techniques will be there, sir. Professor Adinarayana will take up.
Yeah, he will tell you how to calculate correlation value. And whenever you calculate a correlation value, I told you the range will be 0 to 1. Sorry, minus 1 to plus 1. In the case of the reliability value, the range will be 0 to 1. 1 is a perfect. Okay. And suppose the value comes out in correlation. One thing you must keep in mind, many people did a mistake. They say good correlation, bad correlation. There's nothing like good correlation, bad correlation. Correlation can be significant or non-significant correlation. Okay. Say, for example, you have a sample of 30 people, then you are given a test once today. Then the same group you're given after one week time. So you have two score, today's score and after 1 week. So the two set of scores are there. You find a correlation. The correlation comes to be say 0.82. Suppose the correlation comes to be 0.82. Okay. Then you need to check, which the professor will teach you day after tomorrow in a statistical method. Then you have to find the significance of the correlation. Whether this correlation is significant or non-significant. Significant means they are related. Non-significant means obviously name suggests they are not unrelated. And for this, he will explain you how you calculate the value. Correlation, that's why I'm not teaching you. But anyway, how you calculate the value and then compare the value with the table value. If you see at the end of any statistical book, there are tables are given. On the table is written T table, chi-square table, correlation table, concordant to the different kinds of tables. Okay, so what table you will be seeing? You will be seeing a correlation table. You calculate correlation, you will see the correlation table. And there are very simple rules you can discuss with the professor also. The two rules are there. You compare your actual value with the table value. So there are two values. calculator value, which is yours value of your data, and table value. Okay. You can note down the rule if you like. Rule number 1. If calculated value, rule number 1, though he will teach you, but let me explain it. If the calculated value is greater or equal to the table value, if calculated value is greater or equal to the table value, then correlation is significant. Noted down? If calculated value is, rule number 2, if the calculated value is less than the table value, it is non-significant. Okay. Have you noted down?
Yes, sir.
Say, for example, your tool, which you made the questionnaire, you find the calculated value, your value is 0.82. So you suppose your value is 0.82. And the value is checked from the table, from the book. The value is 0.95. Your value is 0.82. From the table value is 0.95. So this correlation is significant, insignificant?
Insignificant.
Huh?
Insignificant.
Insignificant. It means your tool is reliable, not reliable. It's insignificant. Is it reliable? It's not reliable.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a suppose your calculated value is 0.82, your table value is 0.75. Your calculated value is, actual value is 0.82, and table showing 0.75. Is your instrument reliable?
Yeah, reliable.
Yes. You got it? How to find the reliability of whether the instrument is reliable or not reliable. Okay. And similarly, for validity also, the index is 0.8 and higher is considered to be good. So it is not reliable. It's good validity. Please, this is a usually a correlation 0.8 and above is considered to be good reliability, but you will not just go 0.8 and above. You will actually test by comparing with the table values, which I've just explained you. That is a scientific way of doing it. As a lay person, we say 0.8 and above, but some cases 0.8 may not be a good reliability. So we will actually research data, we will show whether it's reliable or not reliable. So with this, if you allow me, I will stop it over here, and another 5 minutes I will take if you have any more question to ask me. I'm in front of you. I know it's a long session for you. Must be tired.
No, I don't think so, sir, because it is very lively and very interactive session. So
I try to make it as possible simple because there are a lot of things to be done in this, And
the floor is open to the participants to pose questions, sir. Our valuable resource person is ready to answer your questions,
please,
if any.
Go ahead.
There was a question earlier about survey and case studies.
Yeah.
Someone posted.
Case study is descriptive in nature, okay? Where you take biographical sketch of the client person, and a survey is another form of a questionnaire. By developing a questionnaire, then doing it with the help of survey research. In survey research, the data, minimum data, which I suggest required to be a 300 plus. The sample should be 300 plus. Why 300? You can question me. There is one thing, I don't know whether you study sampling or not. In sampling, there is one thing known as center limit theorem. According to center limit theorem, the sampling, if the sample size is small, the sampling error will be larger. Again, if sample size is small, the sampling error would be larger. In other sense, if sample size is larger, then sampling error will be minimum. And minimum point comes when the sample size, the number of people you have taken your research is 300 plus. At 300 point or 400, 500 sample size, the sampling error are minimized, not zero. It can never be zero in social sciences. That is the reason in social sciences we take 2 levels of significance. I hope you must have heard it. Otherwise, the person day after tomorrow will tell you, known as 0.01 level of significance, 0.05 level of significance. 0.01 means 99 confidence level of significance. And 0.05 means 95 confidence level. Okay? So 99 confidence level means that, for example, your research shows 99 confidence. It means if there are 100 people are doing the same research independently, 99 researchers will get the same result which you are getting it. 1% chance error can be there. Okay, in social sciences and 0.05. So 0.01 is better than 0.05 level. Okay, and
yes, sir.
That is the reason with the increase of the sample size, the sampling errors are never zero. 0.01 and 0.05, that scope you have to become minimized. The curve it goes like this. I hope you can understand. Go from the y-axis, top of the y-axis, go into the x-axis, and not touching the x-axis. Just it's go parallel to the x at n equal to sample size equal to 300 and what.
Oh.
And case study is a very small sample size which we take into consideration. Just moment, somebody knock my door. Let me check with this person. It's sorry, it was my driver actually who came to pick me. I have another meeting someplace. Anyway. Any other question? I hope my answer satisfied you.
Yes, sir.
Survey and case study.
Sir, I have a question. If after making a questionnaire, doing analysis or completing all of my work, research work, can I modify in my questionnaire? It is possible.
Yes, we don't say revised. Question has been revised further.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Many times we do revision also. Revision, first revision, second, like a book also. You know, you must have seen books. The first revision, second revision, third revision.
But it is hampered on my study.
If the questionnaire, your questionnaire, because you have used it, if I'm using that same question, I can't revise unless until you give me permission to revise it.
Okay.
You have the copyright for that.
Okay.
It's illegal, unethical. I can be questioned for that, for my research.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay.
Yes, any more questions, please? I don't think so that again this opportunity will come in nearer time. Better to ask your questions to our valuable resource person. Whatever may be your doubts, you can clarify.
There was another question in the chat box it was, and I would really like if it can be addressed. The question was...
Just read the question, tell me the question.
The question was, how to formulate a few questions regarding case study? Like, if you can guide us a few questions only. Case study is very extensive. I understood by what you shared, and But how does one go about, as I think that was the question, but my question also is like, how does one go about formulating questions for case
Your
study?
question should be linked by your operational definition, construct what you're going to assess. That you have to keep in mind. It's not that your question is assessing something and you want to predict something else. It should go in line with that. Okay, that's first thing. Then the 5 points which I've given you, you must keep in mind formulating that question. For example, I'm putting a situational question in front of you, and the question is like this. Say for example, you are a professor, you are taking a class. After 20 minutes, one of the students get up and asks you, ma'am, it seems you have not prepared your lecture today. You are wasting our time and your time. How you will react? A, ignore the student and continue with the lecture.
No.
B, ask him what actually not clear to him. C, complain to the principal about the unruly behavior of the child. D,
Second option.
D, tell him to leave the class.
Second option.
Okay, Madam Umaji is a second option. Somebody can be having third option also. Somebody can be fourth option. This depends on individual. The one question I've given you, this question basically is related with the emotional intelligence of the teacher. How emotionally intelligent, how teacher is sensitive to the concern of the other person. This is one question I've given you. Similarly, there can be another question I can explain you. And then another thing, please you keep in mind, when you make a questionnaire and then the 4 choices or 5 choices, you should ensure that there's a possibility of picking all the 4 choices. Suppose Umaji given B choices, and if I give you all of you, everyone will give me B choices. Then this is not the right question. Then I know what the answer is going. Why should I apply this on you? I can sit on my office and just take a mark because I know everyone is giving. That's the wrong questionnaire. Clear? What are the options you are given? It should be normally distributed over the population. The normal distribution curve, you must be knowing, plus minus 3 sigma. So it should be normally distributed over there. So there's a possibility of people, actually 4 options which I've given you, possibility should be 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. Eject. But that's not possible. So 32%, 28%, 19%, so that equally becomes normal distributed over the population, the possibility of getting all the responses. Is clear? But always keep your operational definition in mind, what you're going to assess. Any other? Otherwise, I will leave if it's quickly. I think Umaji is time to stop, it seems.
No, sir. I am making here Astavadhana. Any more questions, please? Sir is very patient and he is answering us very clearly, and he is trying to make us more understandable about the research methodology and the present topic he has taken up today. So I request all of you again to make use of this session. Are there any more questions, please?
What I will do, Umaji, I will send you my PPT. Okay,
sir.
So you can just circulate to, if they want, they can. You can
Definitely,
just,
sir. Definitely, sir.
Can be beneficial for them.
Thank you so much, sir. So kind of you.
No problem.
Any more questions, please? Even in YouTube also, there are no questions.
So anyway, so then I will take you off to start with my another meeting, and good luck to all of you for the remaining 2 days. Thanks for tolerating me for 2.5 hours or so. I know it must be taxing for you. And it's very difficult to make teachers sit in a class. You can make students sit in a class, but very difficult for the teacher to make them sit in the class. I'm also one of you.
I think this is the time for proposing vote of thanks. And thank you so much, sir, for your fastidious speech with regard to the construction of questionnaire and standardization and data collection tools, etc. And you have covered almost all the aspects relating to the construction and development of the tools, etc. I'm very much thankful to you, sir. I know that I'm a sparrow before you, because you are a Brahmastra and I am a sparrow before you. I know that, but still I posed some questions and I tried to answer you because to motivate our participants to participate as an and to make this session as an interactive session.
Yeah,
No, but you bared me with me. Thank you so much, sir. Your kind words.
I enjoyed your interaction, the intervention you were speaking, that gave me motivation to move further, Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And it's a privilege for me and a great honor to me to propose vote of thanks on behalf of the Women's Studies Center for this third day capacity building program on research methodology for social sciences. I would like to thank our today's resource person, Professor Chada NK, for delivering such an arresting and astounding speech, and also his ready acceptance soon after I consulted him. My special thanks are due to our head, Professor G. Sandhya Rani, the organizing secretary, for her constant direction and shore up given to me in organizing this program. I would like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff of the Women's Studies Center. My special thanks are to Mrs. Dr. M. Sucharita, who has readily accepted to assist me and always supported me in all the ways. Sucharita, I am thankful to you. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participants of the webinar and who made this session very pleasant and interactive. I must be thankful to you all participants. Without your cooperation and participation, this session would not be a succeed. And also, there are a little bit announcement. Tomorrow session will be at 2 p.m. and Professor N. Arunachalam will take up this session, and I request you all to join by 1:45 p.m. Into the Zoom meeting or YouTube meeting, which will be provided to you by this evening. And I request all the participants to submit feedback form posted in the chat box. Already I have posted in both the chat boxes the feedback. So you better to submit your feedback link until this evening. It will be activated. And without submission of the feedback, you will never get tomorrow's session links. So I request you all to submit your feedback.
Dr. Uma,
yes? Yes.
The feedback form does not have Dr. N.K. Chadda's name. It is carrying the previous person's name.
Probably I might have made a mistake. So you please proceed with the feedback link because me too, I have to go to the college right now and to make it correct. It takes half an hour or 1 more hour.
We will consider this as Professor Chadda's response. Okay.
Yes, definitely I will.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will try to make it. I will try to make it correction. So just please wait. Within 5 minutes, I will do it.
Umaji, can I leave with your permission?
1 minute, sir. I just want to say my sincere thanks to you,
I
sir.
really enjoyed, you know.
I request you, your same cooperation and blessings for our next programs also, sir.
Anytime. You have my contact.
I make this platform to be utilized that may I invite you for our next session. That means on 3rd and 4th, I'm again organizing one national webinar. And I request you to be one of the resource person for that also.
Just send me the information. I will try to plan it. Okay. I promise.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks to
Thank
all
you
of
so much,
all
sir.
dear
Thank you so much, sir. It
So
was
kind of
an
you, sir.
excellent.
Really,
It was really excellent session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I can't say in my words.
No, please,
Really, I am very much thankful to you,
don't
sir,
say.
for your acceptance.
We are like a family. All of us are like a family member. Don't say that. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I will take a leave, right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Just now I am posting, madam. Please wait. Within 2 minutes, I will do that one.
Okay, ma'am, or you can share it on the WhatsApp group also.
No, because I can't share it in the WhatsApp group because majority of the people, they have not. Yes, just now I pasted.
Okay. Okay,
Please go through it. Please go through it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is it coming or not? Please let me know.
Excuse me, ma'am. It
Yes,
is
yes.
again showing Professor BP Sahu's name only.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably there might be some mistake I did. I might have did. So you better to go through it, and I will consider it for the Chada, sir. Okay.
Okay. Okay. We will put the date somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
We will. Okay. You proceed. Don't worry.
Thank you, ma'am. Please
We will
consider
fill
it.
it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.